What is going on, everybody? How we doing tonight? Sure hope we're doing all right. Sure hope we're doing all right as usual. What is going on? Giant Testicle Eater watching on Twitter, on X, on X.com. Welcome, Giant Testicle Eater. I've never played Minecraft in my life. I got to be honest with you. I haven't even tried it at like a friend's house or anything like that. I probably should try it at least once in my life. I mean, it's crazy because I can remember when Minecraft came out. I was a junior or a senior in high school. Might have been a junior. And it like swept the nation, and I was like, "Oh, this will just be a fucking fad." And then, well over 10 years later, it has a movie. It has a fucking movie now. That is insane. What is going on, King Doctor? How are you tonight? What is going on, Super Ouija 9001? How you doing? Scott, you have to save the show. I don't know how I could save the show. Rusty Corvine on YouTube said that the show runs smoother. The tank goes more smoothly when Scott is involved, and I mean, I don't know, you know. I think that's correlation and causation. I know that Fishtank is going through some trying times, some trials and some tribulations and things like that, and you know, I obviously wish everybody the best. I am still involved with Fishtank as of right now in Blood Games. That was kind of revealed. Not a whole lot of people seem to have noticed because the Blood Games wanted ad, I guess you could say, went out during, I think, maybe the first or second. No, it was literally the first week of season, the first week of season 4 that went out. And excuse me. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Yeah, like I don't think a lot of people really paid attention to that because one, there was no standalone ad that was put out. It was put out as part of a Res TKF video, and I'm in that ad. And I don't think a lot of people realize it because they're too busy watching season 4 to give a fuck about an ad that's buried in the middle of an interview, right? But I am going to be on Blood Games too. All right, that's the point that I'm trying to make. I even have some of my costume that I'm getting together and stuff like that. This was, I'm still mad how big this fucking sword is. It was supposed to be a short sword. This is just a sword. It's a long sword. That's it. That's one of the weapons I'm going to be using. I won't tell you too much about what's going on or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, right now they're going through some tribulations and that fucking sucks. I'm not involved in any way, shape, or form with season 4. I've been staying out of their way. And I hope that they are able to get it all figured out. You know, it's just this is the exact reason why I can't stand cops and I can't stand government is because when it comes to like actual threats, like for instance, Parkland, right? I remember there was a big controversy because there was a security guard who was armed who didn't charge in to try and take out the shooter. I believe that was Nick Cruz. They didn't charge in to take him out. He just kind of sat there like, "Oh, I'm scared." And because of that, a lot more people died. Same thing. I think there was a shooting in like Tennessee or something like that, where the cops literally sat outside the school for 45 minutes. They formed a perimeter and they just sat there listening to children die and things like that. When it comes to that kind of thing, it's, whoa, hey, we got to be tactical about this. We got to be tactical. We got to wait. Hey, cordon off the area. That one of your kids is in there? No, you're not allowed to go in there. I'm going to arrest you if you try and go in there to save your kid. We're cordoning off this area. This is get out of our action, buddy. Like, that's their attitude. But when it comes to something like this, where it's very clearly just people utilizing their own property that is theirs, they bought it, for whatever they feel like within the confines of what the law allows. All of a sudden they're looking for every nook and cranny that they can use to justify kicking somebody out. And for what? Like, no, like I've been to the season 1 house. There's tons of space between that house and the neighbors. I've been to the season 2 house. They don't have a next door neighbor at the season 2 house. They don't even have anyone who's across from them at the season 2 house. The season 3 house, I've obviously been there. Nobody fucking around them. Like it's not like it's brownstone townhouses in like Baltimore or something like that. It's not like, oh, house and then 2 houses attached to it. That's not how it is. It's not like they're in condos. So it's a situation where it's like something isn't adding up. I don't believe any neighbors would have called the police. If they did, it would have been over something stupid, and then the police would have been like, "Oh, let's fuck with these guys," you know? It's just gross. It's just fucking disgusting. You know, people are disgusting. The cops are disgusting. Even your hometown, friendly neighborhood boys in blue guys, they're fucking gross. And local governments are just like state governments. They're just fucking organized crime forces. You know, except you see the mob boss at your kid's soccer game. You know, they're all fucking dumb as shit. You know, but it would look like the short sword in the hands of anyone who isn't a leprechaun. Damn it, you caught me, Nerd Mangler. You caught me, Nerd Mangler. There was zero advertisement for this at all, unless you are 100% fanned out. I'm confused what you mean by that, Braxton Vestal. Uvalde, Texas. Yeah. That's where that was. That's where that was. I remember what you're talking about now. Ma'am. Oh, I don't know what pin you want today, so I didn't type anything. Yeah, I guess I should type something out. Actually, you know what? I forgot I was gonna do a call-in stream today. This is supposed to be a call-in stream. We're not gonna get right into the call-ins or anything like that. But I am going to post the. Excuse me. I am going to post the thing with the stuff, my Discord server, because. That is where we will be taking the call-ins. Chances are I won't get any call-ins because it's been so long since anyone's given a shit about me that people probably are not going to be calling in. I totally understand, you know. But if I could just find a way to fucking do my thing with this. Yes, here it is. Here it is. Okay, and then... yes. What's going on, Neon? How you doing, man? But yeah, so Fishtank, as you can see, it ain't doing so hot right now. I really hope they figure that out. I mean, look, like, if anyone can do it, I think Sam and Jet can do it. They're very capable guys. They're very good at being able to find a way, even when it feels like all hope is lost. I've never once lost faith in them to be able to perform or to deliver in some way, shape, or form, even if it's like subpar in that. Like the stream, the whatever it's called, the RV stream, excuse me, the RV stream. You know, I don't think they're gonna leave us hanging or anything like that. Thought you don't like exposing the Discord to mad people, but hope it's a good stream. Yeah, I mean, you know, fucking, it is what it is. The thing's just sitting there. The Scott cord's just sitting there dormant for the most part. You know, and anyone who's annoying, I can just kick anyway, so who gives a fuck? But yeah, fight till your last breath. Exactly, smart moron. Exactly, you know. I think it was Ellie smoking a cigarette in the basement that did it. I mean, they can't make you not smoke cigarettes in private property. You know, that's not the way that works. But then again, it's like I said. You see, this is the bad thing about our justice system, and this is why government is so disgusting. Is just like unions. Like I'm one of the union representatives at my place, and people seem to think that when our bosses are doing something stupid, I get to walk in there and be like, "Hey, dickhead boss, knock that off." That's not the way that works. The way it works is the bosses decide something, and then we have to go to them and be like, why did you think that was okay to do? And then they have to explain, and then we say, no, that's not okay to do because of this. And then we have to meet in the middle in some way, shape, or form. And the thing is, it's not that we have to. I kind of misspoke there, but we are going to try to. And if the boss is not interested in meeting in the middle, what's going to happen is he's just going to stonewall, and the only thing we can do is just escalate. All we can do is escalate to the point where we would go to arbitration, which is basically like union court at that point. And whatever arbitration states, that just is what it is. But it's not like everything freezes up until that point. If somebody gets fired, they're fired up until arbitration says, no, they're not fired anymore. If that takes a week, that means they were fired for a week. And maybe we can get them back pay or something like that. But for that whole week, eh, they ain't getting paid. They ain't working. If it takes 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, they'll get back pay. But back pay isn't going to help when you needed it yesterday, you know? And that's the way the law works, and that it's gross. It's just another perversion of what the founding fathers anticipated and wanted for us. You should see what he exposes on his OnlyFans. Yes, I'm actually doing a promotion for the month of July. It's gonna be free. I'm gonna have a free OnlyFans for the month of July. So you gooners. Um, I guess Simmons won in the end. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyway, I'm surprised they still have season 2 House. Yeah, I mean, works out in their favor, I guess. She's 18 and the age requirement is 21. The age requirement to buy nicotine is 21. The age requirement to smoke nicotine is not 21. That's how kids are able to get away with smoking cigarettes when they're in their teens and shit like that. Like, they're not allowed to buy them, and technically speaking, you're not allowed to buy them for them, but also it's not illegal for a minor to have them and smoke them. That's kind of how it works. It's like it's not illegal to be high necessarily, or back when it was illegal to be high in most places. Excuse me, back when weed was illegal in most places, it wasn't illegal to be high necessarily. What is illegal is like public disturbance and intoxication and all that other stuff. But if they don't have a good reason to bop you for that, they really can't. So you can be high as a kite around a cop, and technically they can't do anything, because what are they going to do? Arrest you for having had weed at one point in your life? You don't have it anymore. How are they going to prove that you're high in court a week later? That's not the way that works, It's like stuff like that is real weird. Stuff like that is real weird. Huge missed opportunity to pimp your OnlyFans during Pride Month. Hey, I don't move like the rest of them. I don't move like the rest of them. Would have been cool to see the season 2 House other than the basement. I think if they were just gonna do the season 2 House, I think if they were gonna do season 2 House, they would have just went straight to the season 2 House. I don't think they would have did the whole sleeping in the bunker thing, sleeping in the basement. I don't think that's how that would have worked. Would have been cool to see the season. Oh wait, duh. I literally just read that. So just catching up, Dallas got swatted or what? Yeah, they got chased out of the other place to the other place, and it sets a really dangerous precedent as well. Is another piece of it too, because what happens when like what they are doing is functionally the same thing as what I'm doing. All they're doing is live streaming. Now their infrastructure is a lot more robust and a lot more independent than what I'm doing, but what I'm doing is not illegal, and what I'm doing does not require a permit or anything. It literally does not require anything. And this is a clear violation of their First Amendment rights that, again, as I was kind of explaining about the legal system, it's a situation where the only way they're going to get justice is if they're willing to go through a years-long battle in a court with potentially 2 different states, or at the very least 2 different municipalities, where they're going to have to be like, look, like, we were just live streaming, bro. Are we not allowed to live stream? And the town's going to be like, yeah, but we don't want them to. And then they're going to be found, the court's going to find in favor of them. But it's like, yeah, but like, we can't go back and unfuck up the stream or anything like that, It's just gross, Fucking, again, government and cops, they're gross. These are 2 towns that they've operated in before. The police are aware of them. And yet now they're trying to be like, oh, well, actually, it's like, no, not actually, go fuck yourselves, go eat shit, fucking don't be guess they're headed to Scott's house to finish the season. Yes, and as I am blacklisted, I'm not going to be allowed in, so I'm going to have to vacate my house. Do you think this is a small town issue? It's definitely a small town issue. The state doesn't know what a fish tank is. Again, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, they don't know what fish tank is. But the towns are being stupid, So here it is. City governments usually suck. Exactly. It's that, like, being part of a city government is like being a Reddit mod. It's if if you wanted to be a Reddit mod before the internet was a thing, you became a member of your city government. That's what you did. And anytime anyone wanted to do anything and they weren't explicitly your best pal, or they weren't giving you money or some other kind of favor or anything like that, you'd just be like, nah, you know? It's just gross, you know? Did they say what law they broke, or is Sam just cucking to them? Apparently it was like illegal lodging or something like that, but also like, you know, I don't know if they would I don't know if they would even announce that. You know, I just heard a rumor that it was like illegal lodging or something like that. I don't know. Wait, you're blacklisted from Fishtank? No, I'm not blacklisted from Fishtank. I'm gonna be on 2.5. It's just like, since I wasn't on season 3, a lot of people were like, he's fucking blacklisted because he made a joke about Haley, you know. And I don't know if I was going to be on season 3. I feel like they might have had a plan to bring me in at some point, but the way things kind of went left instead of right, excuse me, the way things kind of went left instead of right, I think it just didn't work out. And then season 4, if they were ever going to bring me in for any reason at all, I have a feeling that's probably not going to happen at this point too. So, you know, don't be surprised if you don't see me on season 4, you know. The Watcher on the web says, excellent, love you. Love you too, pal. Love you too. Illegal lodging was the other house. Timer resets when they move to a new property. Think it's something else. Yeah. They shouldn't have opened the door. Don't talk to police ever. Yeah, you know. You see, it sucks because like it's like it'd be easier for me to not open the door than it would for them, because I don't have that much to lose. And in addition to that, like it's just it's tough. It's tough, you know. Like I agree 100%. You know, don't open the door. Don't talk to the cops. Fuck the police. You know, but like fucking whatever. You know, like I have friends that are on the police force now. I even have a cousin who became a cop in his town. And if I got pulled over in his town and it just happened to be him, it wouldn't be, oh hey bro, what's up? It'd be, oh hello officer. You know, that's what it would be, because like, as much as I love my family, he's not my family when he's got his uniform and badge on. He is a manifestation of the state, and the state doesn't give a fuck about me. In fact, the state hates me because I'm a straight white male. You know, not to take it into that territory here, but like it's just a fact of the matter. You know, the state would rather not have me around. You know, we know that. Oh boy, a 16-day streak. I just got my 16-day streak, guys. I leveled up to level 3. Anyway, probably gonna have to go to shitty. That'd be hilarious. Are they moving again? I would assume they're moving again. I don't know, though. But yeah. Some people may love to hate on Scott and the fish tank community, but I always loved that the fish actually came out with a valuable learned skill. Thank you very much, Ike Bowers. Yeah, I mean, this is something I've grappled with for a little while, because it's kind of a revelation I came to over like the last couple of months. But I think the internet has done awful things to the way that we view people. And one of those ways that we don't think about that much is the commodification of personalities, where if you do not have the kind of personality where you're providing some form of entertainment to somebody, it's not just that they, you know, find you a little bit boring and maybe they don't want to watch, it's that they want you to die. They want you dead, you know. The kind of hate that they will throw your way and stuff like that is that of like, it's almost like you spat on them, or you insulted their mother or something like that, you know. I literally, like, I've had people in this chat who they talk to me and it's like, oh, this guy, he's a fan of mine, you know. Even though I hesitate to say I have fans, but he appreciates me. He's an appreciator of mine, I'll say. And then I find them like talking shit in Discord or something like that, and I'm like, yo, dude, don't come to my stream trying to be buddy if you're gonna do that here. And then all of a sudden it's like to this day I can find messages from them talking shit about me when I haven't talked about this person or to this person in a year. You know, like that's how angry they are. And it's just like, it's whatever, you know. I'm gonna do me, whether I'm on the tank or not. I'm gonna be who I am, you know, and I'm just gonna, you know, it's whatever, you know. Anyway, I'm on the fucking, I have the thing pulled up right here, and I see this. Thank you, Goy Shiesty. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for the for that. Um, Apparently it's a code violation to lock 10 people in a basement and have them shit in a bucket. What the fuck, dude? I thought this was America. You can't do anything. Yeah, yeah. Um, all these terminally online weirdos that harass the local PD to shut down Fishtank are beyond help. Well, yeah, you know. And again, that's the thing is like if you're not entertaining, people will try to derive entertainment out of you instead of just allowing you to be you. You know, if that makes sense. Me like I said it the other day in an Instagram story that I did, but it was a private story. Only certain people on my shit could see it. I'm not like a comedy guy. Like I can be funny when I'm with a group of people. When I'm having fun with my friends, I can laugh and joke and stuff like that. But when I'm expected to like perform, I'm out of my element, you know? Like I'm not like that kind of funny. And because of that, when I'm not given enough time to prepare or enough of a premise or something like that, I have a very hard time keeping up, especially when the people that I'm in the room with are people who are juggernauts like Sam Hyde or a Nick Rochefort or something like that. I really am just a boxing guy who wanted to help Sam get better at boxing because at the time when I hit him up, I thought he might be fighting Hassan Piker. And one thing led to another. And like, thank God, because I've had such a great time and I've met so many great people. And I'm so thankful for Sam and Jet and them giving me the opportunities. But over time, they ended up including me in certain things, including, but not limited to, Fishtank. And I had to try my best to adjust. And me, like, even though I made some bad decisions last summer, I came into my own a little bit more in terms of feeling like I don't have to wait for other people to give me the okay to do certain things, you know? And because of that, like we've done some rehearsals for Blood Games and I'm doing like real fucking good with those rehearsals. I know I my improv is like very, very good. And it's because one, I'm not waiting for permission anymore. But then two, in addition to that, I'm like, you know, I have a premise, I have a character, I know what's going on, what we're doing. There's no, hey, show up. Oh, okay, what's going on? You'll find out when you get here. Oh, okay, all right. Anyway, and then I get there and it's like, oh, that's what this is. I was not prepared for that, you know. Um, but yeah, I've always said people have the wrong idea about Fishtank. It's not entirely about messing with people at all. You can see in the way Sam tears up when people leave the show. Oh yeah, you know that's the way, you know, that's the way it's gonna be. Like you can't have a whole a whole an entire 6 week show that runs for 24 hours a day. You're not gonna have nothing but pranks and messing with shit and stuff like that. You're not gonna have that. That's not the way it's gonna work. It cannot work like that, you know? You're gonna have to have moments of reprieve. You're gonna have to have moments where, like, you know, someone who you've been around for a long time, you and them have a bit of a bro moment, you know? And I was happy to be that kind of guy during season 2. Like, there were things that I didn't get to do, but I was happy to be someone who, when I would walk in, the fish would be like, oh, good, someone who's straight up. He's not coming here explicitly to try and fuck with us, even if he does kind of tease us a little bit. Like, this is somebody that I feel I can trust and that I like and that likes me, you know? And I was happy to be that so that these people would be a little bit less crazy. They'd be going a little less buck wild and shit like that, you know? Fucking love you, Scott Sensei. Thank you very much, Yeshua's younger brother, father/son. Scott, I have extreme toxoplasmosis and sniff my cat's ass to get high. That sounds like a good time. That sounds like a fun time. So, Elmer Chud. Oh, excuse me. There is downtime. A 4chan user who picked the name Majox said what specifically, Hidalgo? I'm looking for what that person may have said, but I'm not sure. What did a purported 4chan user named Majox say? I have a strong feeling Majox wouldn't be posting to the 4chan thread. I have a strong feeling he wouldn't be posting that kind of stuff there. But yeah, I don't know. Zachary Verrett says, and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Yes, sir. Indeed. Indeed. Charles Vanex LV. Charles Vane XLV. Is that how you say your name? What the fuck happened? Just got back. They got kicked out of the season 2 house, and now they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to figure out what is going on with that. Oh man. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking is like Majock wouldn't use trips, wouldn't use trip codes and things like that. I don't think that's how that would work. Rusty Corvine says, "Yo, Scott, I got my blue belt last night. They beat the shit out of me for 31-minute rounds. They hit you with the shark bait, huh? They fucking shark baited you, Rusty. Congratulations on your blue belt, man. Keep it up. Just keep on going, man. You know, you'll be at purple before you know it. You just gotta put that work in. You know, you just keep on going, keep on doing it. You know." Jim OHara got swatted. Who's Jim OHara? I don't know who Jim OHara is. Unless you mean Medicare. Unless you mean Medicare. But that's not his last name. I don't know though. Bummed he didn't get a chance to make it on this season and fix Daniel's hump back and self-esteem. He could have used some lessons. I was really excited to get on. I was really excited. I was gonna wait a while, but I was more excited to get on because I actually know one of the fish. Through a complete and total fucking coincidence, I know one of the fish personally. I haven't talked to him in about 10 years. Getting closer to 10 years, but I know one of the fish, and the fish that I know actually is one of the reasons why I figured out who Sam Hyde was in the first place. Because when I was talking to this guy, he was talking about Sam Hyde's shit, and I was like, "Who's the Sam Hyde guy?" And he's like, "Oh, dude, that's a comedian. He had a show on Adult Swim, and what's it called? He's from Fall River. Like, you should check his stuff out." It was him and a couple other people, but like, literally to not talk to this dude for close to a decade and then to figure out like, oh fuck, he's on the show. I wasn't even going to watch season 4. I'm not going to lie to you guys. With what happened with season 3, I kind of distanced myself publicly and privately from the main seasons of Fishtank, and I was just going to focus on season 4.5 because that's the season that I was going to be involved in, and I was a little bit annoyed at what happened with season 3 where I was promised I'd be on, and then I didn't get told I wouldn't be on, so I made a fool of myself saying, "Oh, I'm going to be on, guys, I'm going to be on." So I was like, whatever, it's cool, I'm not angry, but I also don't want to put myself in that situation again. And then day 1 of season 4, I see this fucking guy who looks familiar, and I'm like, no, that can't be him. And then I see the name, and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What? Really? So that's why I've been watching the way that I was, you know? It's just so crazy. It's just so fucking crazy, you know? How old are you, Scott? I thought you were only 23. I wish I was still 23. I'm 30. I wish I was still 23 and only looked 30 instead of being 30 and looking 44. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. That'd be real nice. But yeah, Arya's been kicked out of MDE shows and everything. He's been kicked out of MDE shows, has he? Has he? That's pretty crazy. Anyway. Oh man. But yeah, like I was gonna save that for when that person got eliminated or if they won when the season was over. But I figured I'd go ahead and I'd mention something. You know, I'd mention something. One sec. All right, we're gonna start taking call-ins in a minute or two. Thought Scott was fucking with me when he said dude was on it. Yeah. No. Yeah. I thought my eyes were fucking with me. I thought my eyes were fucking with me. You know, it's just so crazy. You know. Yeah. Me and Neon are actually boys. He's not just some dude that like I is like Zachary. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate you, but you and I have yet to meet in person. Maybe it'll happen one day. I'm open to that, though. I'm like, I'll be honest with you. I'm not about to be like, let's just go into Boston or wherever to meet Zachary. It'd be more like how I met JC. Like, oh hey, there's a reason for me to be in Boston, and this guy wants to come. Like, fuck it, let's do it. Like a fish tank related thing. I forget exactly where you're from, Zachary, but yeah, I'll shut up because I'm like making a fool of myself trying to explain. Like, no, it's cool, dude. Like, I like you and I appreciate everything you do for me. Thank you so much. But like, Neon is a guy that I like know. You know. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Me and Scott rented many hotels together. Indeed we did. Um, is Fish Tank over? I don't think it's over necessarily. I don't think it's over. Do you have a positive appraisal of him? Yeah, I do have a positive appraisal of the guy. I mean, it is what it is. This is what it is, you know. But I'm going to I'm gonna open up the I'm gonna open up the Discord. One second. So if you would like to jump in on a voice call, okay, you can go ahead. You can jump into my thing. Excuse me, geez. You can go ahead, you can jump into my Discord server. Now, the way this is going to work is if you want to jump in, you have to jump into the waiting room. And when you do that, I want you to put a 1 in the call order section, okay? The reason you have to put a 1 in the call order section is because that is how I'm going to figure out who to take next if there are multiple people who are in the waiting room, okay? As of right now, nobody's in the waiting room, so anybody who jumps in the waiting room, we're going to go ahead and we're going to we're gonna go. I'm just gonna pull you right in pretty much, but yeah. Anyway, excuse me. Scott and Neon can trust each other, but Neon sees us all as prey. Don't be fooled. Oh man. I think the legal stuff was a gaslight. Well, the thing is, if there was no legal issues, they would have no reason to leave. Like cops showing up and like wagging fingers, they're not going to be like, oh man, we got to get out of here because Officer Fuckhead is a little bit annoyed. Fuck it, who cares? The only thing that would cause them to dislodge something like that would be if there was some form of issue, specifically legal issue that makes it, excuse me, that makes it so that they are threatened in a way that would seriously harm their money. If it makes sense what I'm trying to say, you know. Um, the 4chan posts are fake. LMAO. Majok wouldn't be posting on 4chan if they were on the run or something. Well, yeah, I don't think Majok would be posting to 4chan in the first place because I mean, like they have a like if they were gonna make announcements, they'd make them through the website, and Majok is not going to jeopardize his position because Majok has a really good position. Like I've been involved with Fish Tank since season 1, and it's not like I'm on payroll. I didn't get paid a shit ton of money to be like as big of a part of season 2 as I was. I basically got paid what you would pay someone for like an hour of private lessons. Someone who was like really overcharging for an hour of private lessons, or maybe they're doing private lessons in like a very rich community or something like that. I don't know, but Majok, I'm sure he's getting paid decent to do what he's doing, considering that he's getting food and lodging paid for by them anyway. I don't think he would. I don't think he would risk that. I don't think that would be a big thing that he would be like, oh, dude, no, I have to let 4chan know, dude. I have to let 4chan know, dude. Gotta check something real quick. I'm gonna go ahead. What's going on, Bonjour Skeet? What's going on, Heathen Metalhead 221 Us? How we doing today? Oh, geez. I already have 228 concurrent viewers, not peak, just concurrent viewers on this stream. I have to say that is I'm gonna pin that right there. That's the Fishtank effect, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Fishtank effect. That's the Fishtank effect is what that is. Man. Anyway, if that was the case, cops show up, see it's not, and leave. So it's got to be something else. Oh yeah, it's definitely got to be something else. You know, the thing you got to understand is that like the police are only doing what they feel like they have to do to get left alone. And what I mean by that is like they've come multiple times to do wellness checks on people and to make sure of certain things that they were told to make sure of. But other than that, they weren't going to lift a finger to arrest anybody because why would they do that? They weren't told to do that, so nobody's going to be mad at them if they don't. But at the end of the day, like if they're given a reason to, meaning if like a city official is like, we're gonna put a stop to that, is what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a stop to this, well then yeah, they'll go and they'll be like, hey, so here's the deal, and then if they don't comply, then they'll arrest somebody. You know, the thing you got to understand about cops is they're always looking for the easiest and cheapest way to go about whatever it is they have to do, and that's why, like back during the culture war days and stuff like that, when people were fighting in the streets, what you would see is there'd be a group of like 10 Antifa and a group of like 4 to 5 like right wingers, and Antifa would go attack them, the cops would do nothing. But when the right-wingers would fight back, that's when they'd spring into action, because they knew that Antifa had too many people and that they weren't going to be like, oh, okay, you want us to do this? I guess we'll head on out then. Instead, they'd go to the right-wingers and they'd bully the right-wingers, because they knew that the right-wingers, one, would be a little bit more civil with the police. They know that the right wingers wouldn't be like, hey, fuck you, pig, we're not doing what you want. They know that the right wingers would bootlick, and then in addition to that, it's also a smaller group of them, so they don't have to worry as much about the numbers that they have, you know. And that's one of the reasons why that's one of the reasons why a lot of the time at those things it was only the right wingers getting arrested and things like that, you know. I don't know who did what. I don't pay attention to anything that's like meta to Fishtank. I don't check 4chan. I don't really use Reddit like that in general, especially not for Fishtank. So I don't know what the lore behind any of it is. I just know that there's legal issues that are forcing them out, and the only reason I know, excuse me, the only reason I know that is because they literally told us on the site, you know. But you never know. You never know. Scott, this is some police body cam footage from some of the class a few days ago. Oh, some of the calls a few days ago. Oh, okay. Let's check that out then. We'll check this out. Did Arya really architect an entire rally? I don't know. He seems a type. He seems a type. Yeah, I don't want to hear about it, you asshole. But like do you see what I'm talking about here? Like this is how far away the next door neighbors are. And on the other side, I don't know if it's going to show. I think those neighbors on this side might be a little bit closer, but as you can see, like it's not like there's a ton of like shit right there.
For know any of them. Perhaps now is a time for prayer. What do you have for us that is relevant?
Mark underscore, thank you very much for the $5. We're gonna watch this real quick, and then we'll do a quick Bible verse. I got to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what would. Oh hey, this is 620. This is the 10-year anniversary of that fight that I won, the 1 and the 1 and 2. That's funny. Anyway, I don't know exactly what would work for this specific instance, but you know, we'll randomly select something, you know.
My body cam's recording, okay? So people are calling that you're creating a disturbance in the neighborhood. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Guy in a red or something. I was just running laps and shadowboxing. But
Okay. Are you all right?
yeah. Why did they say I was under the influence or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I'm perfectly sober.
All right. Are you part of this?
Yeah.
Are
you
like
part
in
of
the
this?
show?
Yeah.
All right.
What does it say? BWC at the top right. It's Officer BWC.
Calling parties confirming that it's definitely from the house.
All right.
Saw him come out of the house.
Just try to keep it down. All right.
Sure.
All right. Thank you. You too.
You see, that's the next door neighbor. That's the next door neighbor right there. Like this is definitely like this specific instance is a situation where like they should have been more careful. You know, that is one thing I will say, and that's something like I get really anal about shit. I get really anal about a lot of different things, like my dog barking, for instance, or like certain other things. Like if there's one thing I can't stand, it's when people make foolish mistakes or they do things in a way that like in their head is not that big of a deal, but it could allow somebody else an opening to be a fucking weirdo, you know? Any of these people could be fucking weirdos and they see somebody they don't recognize jogging up and down their street and they call the police. So it's like Luke probably should have went into the backyard. That way he's on private property. That way nobody can call on him, you know? But he ran up and down the street instead and he was shadowboxing like probably where these people could see him and shit like that, again on public property. And it's like you know, like I'm very anal, I'm very particular about things, and that's because like you have to be, because there's always going to be somebody who complains. And it's like I said, even though Luke has done nothing wrong, that doesn't matter, because we have something called the heckler's veto in this country, where if enough of these people call enough times, Officer Fuckhead right here will show up and he'll be like, I'm sick and tired of getting calls. You guys gotta leave. Instead of telling these people, quit calling us about that. They're not doing anything wrong. And the only way to seek any kind of justice is to do so months or years down the line where a judge rules in your favor. But the thing is, you wanted to have your party today. You know? It's just stupid.
All right. He's just working out, and like I said, there's employee of the show here as well. They check out. He's not under the influence of any drugs. I'll be now on.
Dude, hold on one second. I'm tired of fucking I'm tired of Discord. Nobody's hopping in to do their thing, so you know. Nobody's hopping in to do their thing, but I have to there we go. Discord thinks it's so fucking important that you want to hear a ping every 30 fucking seconds. It's stupid as shit. Anyway, bada bing, bada boom. There we go.
Hey.
Abuse of the 911 system is a punishable crime, but they never utilize it. They just continue to harass the wrong parties instead. I'll give you this 2 was a lot better than 1, and I was annoyed. It was all fourth wall, but they fixed it in 2. It was a good show. See, you two have Eddie Idolism and Cavalog have the same whatever it's called color names. So I assumed Cavalog wrote a second one. That's why I went one to the other. See, and the Swansea Police Department know what Fishtank is. They've known what Fishtank is. They've known what Fishtank is since the first season. The Swansea cops, I'll pause it real quick to tell the story. The Swansea cops, for one thing, they extorted Jet, Sam, and Ben during season 1. They kept getting calls. They kept purposefully misconstruing those calls as valid, even though they were clearly not valid. And eventually they went to them and they were like, look, here's the deal. Either A, you can pay one of our guys to sit out front and be a guard, or 2, you can get out. Because we can't keep getting calls from you guys. So if there's a guy sitting out in front of your place, it's one of our guys, well, it'll work out, because it's you know, it's not like one of our guys didn't see someone try and start something or something like that. So because of that, like, I want to say like the second or third week when I would show up, there'd be a cop sitting out front, uniformed, in a cruiser, And some of the time he'd be watching the show on the shit. That was like one of the funny little things about it is I'd show up, I'd walk in, I'd be like walking by him, I'd be like, "What's up, pig? What's up, you pig bitch? What's up, officer, bitch?" No, but I'd be like, "What's going on?" And he'd be like, "Hey, you back for more boxing?" And I'd be like, yeah, I am actually. Funny. Like, so Swansea knows what Fishtank is. They're just being bitches. They're just being fucking bitches, you know? Yeah, it literally is. It was protection from the police. That's literally what that was. It was extortion. If I did that to you, it would have been illegal. But the cops, well, the cops are the law in this town, so that means they can do it. You know, it's like, holy fuck, man. You didn't S that. I don't know what you mean, Snurf G. Nice Sam Hyde impression, Scott. Why thanks.
You're okay.
That's dickhead shit. Yeah, yeah. When I heard that, I was like, those dickheads. Hey, dickhead.
Look, how's no being poured on you, whatever. I get it. Entertainment purposes.
Can you tell me exactly what they had reported?
Patriots fan 2020. Jay Polson contacted city council and complained like a bitch and tried to get this shit shut down. Who's Jay Polson? I'm confused as who that is.
Okay. All right then. So.
No, like somebody came by me and they were pulling a prank and they put like a gallon of milk on me.
So you're all set, right? You don't.
Yeah. See, it's still wet and everything.
No criminal complaints, right? You're good to go.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
Then I'm good with you.
Yeah. If there was something that would go wrong, I would just.
You always know.
I would look at the camera and say, "Call me."
Okay. Very good.
Jet looks like a typical guy you'd see on police body cam footage. I think that's just what happens when you're from the south. I think they have police. I think anyone south of the Mason-Dixon line just has body cam footage physiognomy. Is what it is.
You guys should really think about actually working with them and maybe making an appearance or something. So that'd be so funny.
Yeah. We'll see.
You're pretty for a police officer. I don't.
The higher authorities now step in, I guess. Really, future seasons ought to be in a non-residential zone. It's the only way to avoid the killjoy neighbors, doxers, and saboteurs wrecking the show.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. I mean,
have fun. Yep. Estrella. Okay, Jonathan Estrella. Okay. So.
Yeah, I mean they have multiple properties now. If they can sell those properties, I'm sure they would have enough to buy a commercial building and like buy it pretty much outright and then do what the original plan that they were talking about was, which is build a house inside of a residential building. You know, I'm sure they could do something like that, you know. Hey big guy, do you know what will happen now? I have no clue what's going on. I have no fucking idea what's going on, you know. I'm just nervous. I'm hoping that it doesn't fuck around with blood games, you know, because that'd be annoying. I have to wonder if Trish didn't out the fact they were in the season 2 house basement, if the Redditor douche doxing wouldn't ever happen in the first place. I think it'd be really easy to blame Trish or something like that, but I think something along those lines would have happened anyway, you know. But yeah, I don't know. What's going on, Jessica Drake? I have no idea how they haven't learned this lesson yet. Well, I mean, this is to be fair. Oh yeah, I gotta read a Bible verse. Damn. Sorry about that, Mark _ I don't know if you're still here. I want to give you your money's worth though. Actually, you know what? We're gonna read Job. We're gonna read something from Job. Oh duh. Where's Job? I'm wondering. Sorry, I'm just reading some stuff here. Dude, I keep getting text messages and shit like that, and it's like it's just like texts from the boys wanting to play games, but I can't fucking play games right now. So it's like, oh, dude, what the fuck. Anyway, yeah, it's definitely not Trish's fault. You know, it's not Trish's fault. Fucking, they should have paid for the cop this time. I mean, I don't think they had that option necessarily. You know, but you never know. You never know. Anyway, so this is Job, chapter 41. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Will thou take him for a servant forever? Sorry, just trying to readjust. Wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him. Remember the battle. Do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down, even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare stir him up, who then is able to stand before me. Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his part, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? The old style is a little bit weird. Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a closed seal. A closed seal. One is near to another, that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together, that they cannot be sundered. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as stone, yea, as hard as a piece of nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold. The spear, the dart, nor the habergeon? I don't know what the hell that is. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp-pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. Upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all things. He is a king over all the children of pride. And I chose Job. I chose, what's it called? I chose the book of Job, right? And I picked a random one in Job, right? Because Job is, hold on one sec. I'm trying to see. Yes, okay. I'm trying to see this, right? So epilogue, right? God tells Eliphaz that he and the other two friends have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has done. The three are told to make a burnt offering with Job as their intercessor, for only to him will I show favor. Elihu, the critic of Job and his friends, is notably omitted from this part of the narrative. The epilogue describes Job's health being restored, his riches and family being remade, and Job living to see the new children born into his family produce grandchildren up to the 4th generation. The reason I chose this, right? The reason I chose this, right, is because I think it is fitting for what's going on right now. You see, the book of Job, the point of it is to basically say that, look, God is not someone to be loved only when you are getting what you want. You need to love God even when you're not getting what you want. And the story of Job is that he is doing very well for himself, and then God takes all that away. And for a long time, he refuses to curse God. He refuses to turn his back from God. And because he refused to turn his back from God, everything, his riches, his family, everything was restored or remade, as it gets put down here. I think what is happening right now is a Job situation, and if they keep at it, if they keep going, they will be able to rebuild what was happening in seasons 1 and 2, where they didn't have to worry about having to flee, from the houses. And stuff like that. Oh yeah, you can't just replace kids, I guess. Yeah, that's yeah. And he put the kids back where they were. Love Fishtank even when cams are down. Be like Job. Yeah. I was more thinking in terms of Sam and Jet and everything like that. But you can put it that way too. You can put it that way too. Never give up because God is always with you. Yes, indeed, sir. Indeed. Would be funny if Job was watching. Yes, that would be pretty funny if the Job was watching. He immediately started complaining and hating on God. There are whole chapters of monologue where he calls BS on God's system. Really? Because I read the book of Job a long-ass time ago, and I mean like a decade ago. And it, I don't remember it as well as I could. Maybe I need to reread it then if that's the case. But the bottom line is that is the point. That is the point of the book of Job. It's one thing to love somebody, whether it's God or somebody else, when they're doing everything you want them to do, or when everything's going your way. It doesn't even have to do with everything being like what you want it to be or what you want someone to do. Sometimes it's just like, hey, am I having a good time right now? No? Well, that's fine, because I'm not going to turn my back on this thing or this person or this place or anything like that, That was the point that I was trying to make reading from Job, I'm not a biblical scholar in and of itself, That's not my wheelhouse, is knowing every nook and cranny of the Bible. I think that's actually a waste of time, being someone who's able to quote Bible verses from memory like that. I think that's a really weird, nerdy thing to do, If that's your thing, then hey, you do it up, good for you. But me personally, I'm not big on that whole idea.
The second coming of Christ is when we learn to sacrifice for the highest good.
Yes, TBMNKY, indeed. Thank you very much for the $20 as well. But yeah, I mean, you can argue with me about the Bible and things like that, but one of the things that made me kind of change my opinion on the importance of the Bible was the understanding that the Bible had to be compiled by people. That's what if I remember correctly, that's what the Nicene councils were. If not, it was a different council, but literally the clergy had to compile what would be considered to be the canon Bible before it was disseminated to the churches in the first place. So when people talk about that's not in the Bible, it's well, the Bible wasn't a thing until however many years after Christ was crucified. So you're going to have to excuse me if I don't consider that to be the end all be all. Plus, in addition to that, a lot of the Bible doesn't have to do with church doctrine or anything like that. It does in a lot of cases, but most of the New Testament is letters from people talking about what Christ did last week, But But I mean, you know, that's another conversation to be had. That's another conversation to be had. You know, thank you again. Thank you very much, TB. Thank you very much. What's a Discord? Let's debate what? Debate what, Mister GAF Christ. But yeah, there's the Discord if anyone feels like they want to jump in. You know. A Redditor made a video like a day ago and showed the staff out front. Kiwis used the video to trace him down, and he is now known. I'm confused about what you're talking about, Patriots fan 2020. I'm confused about what you mean by that. But we do have a call in. We do have somebody who is who's oh wait yes, we do have somebody who's ready to jump into a call. So I'll go ahead. I'll pull them in. All right. Hello? Hello? Are you there? Hello? Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, I can see your thing lighting up, but I can't hear you. I'm gonna try something out real quick to make sure it's not my shit.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, it shouldn't be my shit. I think it might be you, whoever you are. I can't hear you very well. Here, I'm gonna pull you out, and then I'm gonna pull you back in. I just want to see what happens. Huh. Hello? Yeah, it's weird. I'm not getting any kind of sound from. Oh no, wait. I know what it is. I'm a fucking idiot. All right, I'm hold on. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna leave for a second. All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up? Oh, not much. Just, thought I'd pop in.
Cool. You got anything you want to say?
So I recognized you now that I've been racking my memory from season 2. You did the jujitsu stuff.
Yeah, it was supposed to be karate, and we called the jujitsu aikido, but yeah.
That's right. Yeah, so how was it there? I mean, yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean it was fun. You know, I had a really good time. My favorite day was probably the beach day because I just got to chill with them and like fuck around a little bit. You know, it was a good time. The season 2 people will have a place in my heart, regardless of like whether I'm involved in any future seasons and if I get to meet any new people. Just because like people complain about them being fans and stuff like that, but to me that just kind of endeared them to me a little bit. Like I felt like I was kind of with my own people to a certain extent, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
Would you say your favorite was, you think?
That's a tough one. I really liked TJ and Shinji, so it was cool to see them be able to battle it out at the end.
Yeah.
I liked Trish too because she was just like a chill girl. Like there was almost an innocence to Trish that I kind of appreciated, where like she, you know, like she had that beef with Dunye, and her like she almost like she almost lost every single one of those like rounds, if you want to call it that, when they were beefing.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't because she sucks. I think it's because she's just genuinely like a kind-hearted person who doesn't like want to get into those situations, and because of that it was like weird for her, you know, if it makes sense what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. She seems like a very down to earth person. I did see that.
Hell yeah, man.
What about the season right now? Like, okay, so here's my thoughts. Maybe they went to the basement from the house they were in. You think?
No. That wasn't the basement. That wasn't the season 1 basement. Fucking that was the
Oh.
yeah. I mean it's pretty much known that they went to the season 2 basement.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did. Okay, you've seen the season 2 basement then.
Oh yeah, yep.
So the basement they're in is the house from season 2. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. God, what else? Oh yeah, are you still like involved with the crew?
I'm gonna be on 4.5, which is gonna be Blood Games 2. I don't
Sweet.
know if they were gonna bring me in for season 4. I don't know if they will bring me in for season 4, but I haven't discussed anything like that with them. I haven't really talked at length with them about much either. Last time I saw Jet was we were getting ready for some 2.5s, 2.5 Blood Games 2, Blood Games 2. We were getting ready for some Blood Games 2 stuff. We were talking about writing and other things like that.
That's dope. When is that supposed to start? Blood Games 2?
Uh, we have a date in mind. I don't feel like it's my place to share it.
Sure.
But you know, it will be in the summertime. You know, it's not going to be like right after season 4 ends. I know that. But you know, we're part of the reason I don't want to share it too is because like it's all tentative anyway. So like even if I do share it, it might change. So you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about like auditions for season 5? Do you know anything about that?
Nah, I don't think season 5 is a twinkle in their eye right now. I think they're just in survival mode where they're like, all right, let's just fucking get through this, you know?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Looks like you got more people waiting though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you have anything you want to say before I bring one of those other people in, you know, feel free to share.
Yeah. I think I covered a few of the questions that I had. You know, just started following you right now. Just scrolling through some fish tank stuff, and I found you. So I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna pop in."
Oh, sweet. Thank you, man.
Oh, no problem. I'll be around.
Oh yeah. Catch you later.
All right, later.
That was a nice guy. I have 2 more people in the waiting room right now that are going to be going, so we'll go ahead and we'll throw one of those people in just a second. I know who is in there first, so whoever's in the waiting room right now, you don't have to worry. I'm not going to bring anyone in, you know, out of order or anything like that. But still, if you jump into the waiting room of my Discord server, you have to put a 1 in the call order. That way, I know what order to bring you in, just in case. And yes, Arya is a strange dude. That is definitely for sure. That is for sure. Ben just tweeted for what it's worth. Ooh, I'm gonna see what Ben tweeted. I'm curious. Oh, excuse me. Let's see what Ben tweeted. But knowing Ben, it's gonna be like a joke. Knowing Ben, it's gonna be a joke. Ben W. Bush. Yes, indeed. I have to make an announcement. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful day today is what it says here. Yes indeed. Yes indeed, Ben. Yes indeed. All right, so we're going to pull the next person in right now.
Games in season 3.
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on? Is this Scott?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Okay, Scott, I need to ask you a really important question. So you're Christian. You're claiming you're Christian, right?
I try to be.
You try to be Christian, okay. But you're like
try to be.
actively believe that Jesus Christ died for your sins.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, W. I agree with you. Do you denounce Rape Escape?
Do I denounce Rape Escape?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why I would have to. It was just like a dumb game on a prank show.
No, I mean, I don't think you really want to rape people, right? But do you not agree that a game called like, would you draw the line at like pedophilic stuff? Like, I wouldn't say like I wouldn't play a game called Rape Kids, but like I can't understand how you could like even be associated with, like, I love fishing, I love watching it, but being a part of it, right, is one thing. Like, how can you justify that and also be Christian?
Well, I mean, for one thing, I think there's a huge difference between the implication that is present in a game like what you said. I don't even want to repeat that what you said,
okay,
and what I did with the women who were all over the age of 21, let alone age of 18. I think there's
But like that
there's a
doesn't the
marked
age of
difference
consent.
between those
Like, so
things.
you're arguing from a sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt. You're arguing from a legal perspective, right? I'm saying morally. We're not talking about the legality of Christianity. We're talking about morality. So if you have the morals of a Christian, right? How
Yeah.
would you be okay with participating in a game called Rape Escape?
Well,
Where the action, even if the game wasn't like didn't involve rape and it was just called Rape Escape, that's one thing. But it's you like pinning these women, like that's like degenerate. That's objectively degenerate and spreading degeneracy. That's like that's not porn, right? It's a couple rungs down though. It's degenerate.
I don't know about that. I think it's just a dumb game on a prank show.
Okay, how is it so? Okay, so how is it not degenerate?
How is it not degenerate? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like I touched anybody inappropriately.
Okay, well, I would argue that that is inappropriate because I don't think any kind of touching like that should be on camera whatsoever. So even if it, it is consensual, of course. I'm not saying that you tried to rape these people, but I'm saying any sort of like this is tantamount to webcam porn. It's not the same, obviously, but it's still degenerate.
Webcam porn.
Any kind of porn, you know what I'm talking about? It's filmed on a webcam.
So I have a question then. Is like high school or collegiate wrestling or like Brazilian jiu-jitsu degenerate?
No, because that's a sport where it would preferably, right? I wouldn't argue. I don't know if I would. Honestly, I don't know if I would argue for co-ed fighting. I don't know how I feel about that personally. I haven't really made up my mind on that. But for if we're talking about just like two like high school boys or two high school females like wrestling in terms of like sports.
Okay, but what makes one of those degenerate and the other one not?
No, I was just asking. I was asking it for like a clarifier. Is that what we're talking about? We're just talking about two underage boys or two underage females wrestling in the terms of sports.
I guess yeah. If you wanna put it that way, yeah. That's what wrestling is.
So is there any
Brazilian
sexual
jiu-jitsu is a little
implication
bit
in
deeper
there?
than that, but huh?
Is there any sexual implication?
No.
So, but with Rape Escape, there's an inherent sexual implication. You're not just wrestling these people. So when you got brought on to teach them karate, awesome, W. They're learning a life skill. You're being a father figure. This is a W. I think that's awesome. But when you go on to Rape Escape, right, you're attempting to rape these women, even in jest. How is that not implicating sex, even consensual?
That's a crazy fucking thing to say. You're raping someone in jest. It's just
you are. It's true. That's true. You're jokingly raping. How is that an insane thing to say? That's the truth. That's like legitimately what's happening. In joking form, you are raping these people. Is that not true? Yes or no?
I mean, look, like the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, right? That that would imply that North Korea is a democratic republic, right? Because that's the name. That's the name.
You attempting to jokingly rape two women. I'm saying that's inherently sexual. You're broadcasting that to a bunch of people. That's inherently degenerate. And your argument is, well, there's a bunch of Koreans that are like, I'm not talking about Korea.
That's exactly my argument. Those damn Koreans. That's exactly it. You caught me. No, what I'm saying is the name does not always accurately represent what exactly is going on with a person, place.
Okay, but I watched it.
And that's what Rape Escape was, right? Is that it was supposed to be shock humor in the name, while really all that's going on is we're just wrestling. That's it, If there was one thing that I could go back and change, though, I would have given the girls the choice to throw punches at me. I would have given them boxing gloves, and that would have made it a much better bit in general. I'm mad that I didn't think about that at the time. But overall, there's really nothing to like be ashamed of or anything like that. It's just a stupid game on a prank show, That's all it is. I don't think it needs to be thought about a lot deeper than that,
Okay. So I just have one more question.
Yeah.
So if I go on Fishtank, right? Yeah. And I'm like with Daniel and they're like, oh, you have to kiss Daniel, and I'm like, okay. I smooch Daniel on the lips. Am I a faggot or no? Did I just do something gay?
Well, you did.
Well, I did. I did do something gay, but it's just on a prank show. But I'm still a faggot, and I should still kill myself. So I'm saying is that was a degenerate thing to do, and you can't claim you're Christian.
So what you're saying is you're attracted to Daniel and you want to smooch him on the lips? Is that what you're telling me right now?
I am attracted to Daniel. He has an aura to him. But we're not talking about. I'm saying that was an analogy, right? That was analogous to the situation that you're in. More analogous than the Korean analogy that you brought up. I'm saying you did something degenerate, and you're disagreeing it's degenerate. I'm saying, why is it not degenerate? Well, it was on a stupid prank show. That's not, if I really raped somebody and I just said it was on a stupid prank show, that's not an argument.
Well, that's the thing, is that I didn't really rape anybody. Nobody raped anybody.
Does that make it not degenerate?
Yeah.
If so, how?
Because nothing happened. You're mad that nothing happened.
Them. You fake raped them. How is that not nothing?
You're mad that nothing happened.
Okay, so can you describe? Because I watched it, I was like, oh, cool, bitch tank rape thing. That was cool. So I watched it.
So you thought it was cool? What's the problem?
I did. I think. Hey, I'm not saying I'm against. Did I say I was against it? Did I once say? I'm saying, is it degenerate?
I don't know.
Yes or no?
You seem like you are. But anyway, like,
I'm saying,
I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on this. You know, do you have any closing statements? Yeah, I'm kind of a crazy guy.
No, that's my only statement. That's my only statement. So wait, why am I crazy?
No, I said I'm kind of a crazy guy.
Oh, you're kind of a crazy guy. Okay, I thought you were ad homing me. I was like, this is crazy. I thought we had a good repertoire.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah. Have a good.
Okay.
If you don't got anything else, I guess just have a good one. You know.
One more question. One more question.
Okay.
What do you think about? Do you believe that the story of Job really happened?
Yeah, I believe the Bible happened in general. You know.
Well, the Bible. No, I believe the Bible happened. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this specifically the Book of Job, because there's like a couple instances, right, of like clear, like metaphor and clear like fables, right, in the Bible, and I believe the Book of Job is one of those.
I think the Bible as a whole is something that is not meant to be read one time and then you claim to have an understanding of the Bible. I think that there are things that definitely happen literally. And then I think even within those literal things that happen, there can be some metaphor in the way that it's told or other things like that, you know? But it's like I said, I'm not really a biblical scholar. So if you want to like debate me on that, like you know,
no, that's
I'm
not.
the wrong guy to go to for that. You know,
I'm just curious your position. I'm not fully, you know, I don't have a fully realized. I'm pretty young, so I don't have a pretty fully realized position yet. I'm just trying to, you know, curious as to see your position, you know, with everything involved. So. Yeah. All right. Well, I still think, you know, I reflect. Okay, just reflect on what degeneracy is, right? Because it's not easy to repent. It's not easy, and it shouldn't be. But I believe everyone can. Okay, and I believe you can too. I think so. I appreciate you having this conversation with me today.
I think it's real easy to repent once you leave behind your preconceived notion of perfection or not being someone who has the capability of doing harm to people and things. But you know,
what does that mean?
That's another conversation to be had at a later time. I'll let you go though, man.
Repent. You shouldn't. Okay, whatever. Okay. Take care. Bye.
All right, peace out, man. Boy, that was strange. That was a strange one. But you know what? He wasn't a complete dickhead about it. You know, he had his idea. He had his idea. All right, and he stuck to it without being completely and totally like ridiculous about it. You know, although I do think that he may have been a little bit. He may have been clinging to that idea a little bit too hard out of a feeling of wanting to be correct as opposed to what is actually right and wrong. Because the fact of the matter is, it's not like anything actually happened between me and any of the girls. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway. So, yes. I have two more people in there. I'm going to pull the next one in right away. Hello?
Hello?
Yo, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Is this Scott?
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you. It's nice to talk to you.
You too, man.
Hello, chat. Hello, Scott. So what are you uninformed about? Like what's going on right now with the fish tank?
So I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty uninformed about everything. All I know is that they had to pack up and leave a couple of times. It was because the towns that they were in came after them for one reason or another. I don't know what the breaking point was with those towns. I don't know what conversations were had. People are mentioning names and stuff like that, and it's like I don't know. I don't know what any of those names were. So it bottom line is fish tank's down right now, and we're waiting to see if it's going to come back online.
So, to be clear, this could all just be one ginormous gaslight and bit. I don't think so, just because of how things have progressed at this point. But from what I've seen online, from what I've seen people discussing, it seems like this Jay Polson guy on Reddit is the guy who has been the vanguard on attacking production and attacking the show. Now, to be clear, it that could be completely false. We don't understand. We don't completely understand the situation. It's just how the online sphere works. I'm certain you understand that.
Oh yeah.
And so it could be someone different, but there has been people who have looked into it, and from my understanding, it seems like that's the guy. Because he made a bunch of Reddit posts about shitting on production, shitting on like the show, and then when people found out about him doing it, he's tried to totally delete himself off the internet, and that's kind of really telling.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean that sucks. Some people are just shitty, and what they want to feel like is that they have the power to pull strings and like affect the world around them. That's what it is. Like a lot of the time. Not saying that they don't have some kind of like grudge against the show for whatever perceived reason. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there who just want to feel like they have control over their environment, and that's probably what's going on with this guy. And I don't think he realizes he's probably playing with some situations that are not going to favor him the longer it goes on. And I wouldn't wish bad on anyone, but also like I'm not gonna wish that somebody doesn't get justice. And if that means that that dude gets arrested for misusing like whatever or like some form of harassment or something like that, it's like, well, that's what he gets. Shouldn't have gone trying to start shit. But I just hope that I just hope everybody comes to their senses and does the right thing. And if they don't like something, they just leave it alone. I know this is wishful thinking, but I hope that if somebody doesn't like something, they just leave it alone. And I hope that we're able to get everything back on track.
Well, I would love for everything to get back on track. It just seems like from everything that production has said and everything that has been distributed online that we may or may not get back on track at this point. And that's, to me, as someone who enjoys Fish Tank, is very frustrating. And I understand it's probably 100 or 1,000 times more frustrating for production because they're actually going through it right now, and all of us viewers are just kind of just we're 2 or 3 steps outside of what they're going through, and I feel like that's I feel like a lot of people are very frustrated because they've spent money, they've spent a lot of time, and that's that's it's like a feedback loop that just builds frustration. And I understand where everyone's coming from with that, and I hope that everyone can be patient with production and patient with our, to be honest, like uh low IQ local governments that just listen to boomers who don't know anything and listen to Redditors who are unbelievably fragile in nature. I think you and I can both agree with how fragile a lot of these people are.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like everyone should just, breathe in, breathe out, and wait to see what comes.
Oh yeah, I mean, chat was saying it as you were talking about what's going on. Like they have too much money tied up into this to just be like, oh, everything's going to shit. Let's just, fuck off. I don't think they're gonna like it's not just a point of it's not just a point of money either. It's a point of pride. Like I think Sam has a little too much pride. I think Jet has a little too much pride to just be like, nah, I'm out of here. We're throwing in the towel. Sorry, guys. I don't think that would sit right with them. And in addition to that, like, why would you ever want to give somebody who's messing with you the satisfaction? There's a piece when it comes to Fishtank for me and my appearances and stuff like that. There's a piece of me that has seen how some people talk about me and stuff like that, and it fuels me to want to go back on as kind of like a aha, fuck you, you're not gonna like bitch and moan and get your way kind of thing. um and like I think Sam and Jet probably have that even more than I do, if it makes sense what I'm trying to say. So like I don't think they're not gonna have it back on. I think they're definitely gonna have it back on. I think they're working on that right now. If they need help, they can hit me up, but I don't know what help I could provide them. I actually do have something I could do for them if it came down to it, but it's not a guarantee. But I'll let them come to me if they want me to try doing what I might be able to do for them. I'm not gonna be the one hitting them up like, oh, dude, I could try this anyway. So I'm working my way through this thought process right now, which is why I'm like jumping from thing to thing. Oh, the bottom line is I don't think it's not gonna happen. I think it's going to happen. They just got to figure out what the next step is gonna be, and we'll do our thing. It's all gonna get figured out. I will say, Oswald in the chat a little while ago said that they're gonna get kicked out of 109 towns, and that was pretty great. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty. Isn't it 110 towns now because of the Maldives? I probably shouldn't bring that up.
Yeah, yeah, man.
But uh, I I haven't really been watching you all that long. I I got I found out about you in Fish Tank season 2, and I thought you were a pretty cool guy,
Thank you, man.
and is someone who did a lot of martial arts when he was young. I like to see that you are trying to push that forward and trying to push that the idea of having these traditions and having these ideals that young men should strive for. I view that as a very impactful thing. And I appreciate you as a content creator pushing those things forward for other young men or, like middle-aged men. Like I'm 30 myself, so
We're not middle aged, man. Don't say 30 is middle aged. I'm 30, and I'm trying to I'm doing that meme where like I'm only 30. 30's young.
yeah, that's true, but Halo 3 did come out 18 years ago now, so
Well, nah, I won't even make that. I won't even make the joke I was gonna make. But anyway, yeah, like I just I like I may not be the most entertaining guy all the time. I'm not gonna go on Fish Tank and like do a bunch of crazy shit. Aside from maybe Rape Escape, which that's gonna make some people mad. I guess I don't know. But like I like, excuse me, geez. I like having a positive um effect on people. It's nice. It feels long lasting. One of the proudest things that I've done is teach kids specifically because like I just it feels good knowing that like even though I'm not going to change the world, I can at least change the people that are in front of me for the better. And I just want to keep on trying to do that to the best of my ability. So thank you for that. Um, I don't take compliments very well. I'm not good at taking compliments. They make me uncomfortable. But I appreciate what you're saying. Thank you.
so this is a bit off topic, or I don't even know if it is off topic because we're talking about multiple different things. Who is your favorite fish this season?
It'd have to be Aria. You know, fucking. I think it. I think that answer kind of lets people know that yes, I did know Aria. Aria is the guy that I knew years ago who introduced me to Sam Hyde's content. He's someone that I knew that I was like decent friends with. We fell out of contact, and here we are, fucking like years later. But like, as soon as I saw him on there, I immediately was like, "Yo, everybody, Aria is the guy." Because knowing Aria, he's the type of dude who is very autistic. He is like, he's like, he's like weird, definitely, and he can do and say some weird shit every now and again. A lot of the time it's just a joke. It's just meant to be a joke, that because he's autistic he goes too far. He doesn't know like where to draw the line, but if there's one thing he's got, it's balls. He's a very ballsy dude, and he doesn't let a lot of things get to him in a way that's going to move him. Like, he cried the other night, okay, fine, but it's not like he cried and then packed his shit and left. He just cried and then he stayed there, But yeah. Very,
Okay.
says
All right.
Neon.
I personally, I can't decide who my favorite fish is, but I think my least favorite fish is someone who is, in his 30s, and someone who can just understand how normal people interact. Is your chat is probably going to hate me for saying this. I hate Freddy.
Mm. Yeah. I mean,
And
oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
I understand if people dislike me for hating him, because he's kind of a content king, and he does a lot of stuff in the house, but he just seems like a gargantuan soy lineal like asshole, you know? Like,
Mm.
I feel like he's the type of person that if you gave him $500 to hold on for you, he would say, "Oh man, sorry, like I lost like $80 because someone mugged me, like sorry, but I still have 420, man." Like, you know? I might be
Yeah.
off base there. That might just be viewing things from above, but that's kind of my like view on him, and I feel like that's kind of shitty, but it is what it is.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch who said it in the chat, but somebody said he's a holdout hipster, and that's a very good way to put it. He reminds me of the kinds of guys that I was hanging out with like 12, 13 years ago. They were like the punk rockers from my town who like every day was just, dude, we're going to this guy's house, we're playing fucking beer pong, dude. They were not good dudes to hang out with, and I don't hate Freddie or anything like that, but like I recognize him to be the kind of guy that I got away from when I was in my early 20s, before I actually met Arya, mind you. And fucking, what's it called? What was I gonna say? I think he's content. I'll give him that. Even if I hate it, he's content, and that's a very good thing for him on the show, and it's a good thing for the show. So I can at least recognize and understand that he plays a good heel character, and that it's good for him to be on the show. But yeah, I get the hate. I definitely get the hate. I don't think it's a coincidence that Derench is like clearly interested in him either, given her situation. And I'm not trying to say Derench is like a bad person or anything like that. I don't even think Freddy's a bad person. I just think that there's things with them where they have made some decisions that have led them on the paths that they're on, and that they would make a good couple because of that. you know
Well, I guess I should be a bit more clear. When I say I hate someone, it doesn't really mean I hate them. It's just like I dislike how they act around other people, and I dislike how disingenuous some people are. It's just Freddy lies a lot, and as a as someone who is as someone who has a cousin that is a amalgam of Freddy it's kind of just hard not to dislike what he says, you know?
Hmm. No, no, I get what you're saying totally. You know, I totally get it. You know, like if I had to be around Freddy for like a Blood Games 2 situation or something like that, like I think he and I would get along okay, but like also I wouldn't want to be best pals with him or anything like that. That would be a little bit weird.
I would love to see Jimmy and Freddy just forced together because they would just absolutely hate each other.
Oh yeah. Oh, good one.
I might be I might be off base, but it's like I have the vibe that Jimmy and Freddy would just not vibe well, you know?
Oh yeah. No, they would not get along, I don't think. They'd get along at first, but then something would happen and they'd just start butting heads like a couple of rams.
You see that seems very similar to what I went through on the Utah program. I can't really deal with that.
Oh, boo-hoo. You can't get your band to take off. You know what it's like in Utah? I can't do a good Jimmy. I should be able to do a good Jimmy, but I can't. I just can't. Yeah. But I'm gonna pull somebody else in a second. Did you have anything you wanted to say before I let you go?
Crisis King.
Yes, sir.
I truly do hope that Sam and Jet can get things on the roll again, and that's about it. All right, bye.
Sweet. Peace out, man.
Peace out.
I reached for something that was over my keyboard and I accidentally hit F5, so my shit restarted. And luckily he saw me lose connection and he just stopped and he restarted right there. That was a nice guy. I appreciated that. But I'm gonna to the person who's up next, I'm gonna read the chat real quick, just catch up with a couple of things that were said in there, and then I'll pull you in. RA and Bert in the same room would go crazy. That would be absolutely that'd be really fucking. I don't know if I could handle that. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if I could handle that. I got to be honest with you. And somebody claimed I got REA on the show. No, I did not actually. I have not talked to REA in getting close to 10 years. The last time we spoke was probably a little over 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago at this point. And like we hadn't talked at all since then, nothing happened between us. We didn't have a falling out. It's just like there was just something that just did that, and we just weren't talking anymore. It was nothing bad. There was no issues between us or anything like that, How did you meet REA? Maybe I'll tell that story at some point. But we'll see. We'll see. Seth is like the only potentially redeemable person here, unless there's something crazy that I haven't heard. Seems like a pretty normal person. Yeah, I forget Seth is there sometimes. Excuse me. I forget Seth is there sometimes. Like every now and again, I'm like, wait a second. Who is that guy again? Oh yeah, fuck. That's the freeloader. That's the freeloader, Seth. What happened to Vance, bro? I talked to Vance a little bit. He didn't tell me anything in detail. He just said that it was like some issues with scheduling and stuff like that. But Arya was sent in to assassinate Jet and Sam for not having you on season 3. That's exactly what it is, Hi Ecuador. That's exactly what it is. It doesn't make sense in my brain. How does one talk to REA IRL? REA on Fishtank is REA IRL. If you can put up with the singing and the talk about inane topics and stuff like that, you can put up with REA. I wouldn't want to live with them. I could understand why people started getting sick of them after a week or a week and a half of living with them. But like in smaller doses, yeah, it's easy to it's easier to put up with them. It's easier to put up with them. I miss Vance too. But anyway, we're gonna pull in the next person here. Yo, what's going on?
Oh.
Not too much. Not too much. How you doing, Scott?
Doing all right. What about you?
All right. So, uh, I got Rad Dad here living on my couch right now. So I'm gonna get him to shut up. I gotta give him a dose of morphine. No, no, but seriously, like, I'm helping somebody else out, and I wanted to know what you. Show me his penis. He's gonna keep saying that. Don't listen to him. It's true. I wanted to know. Rad Dad, actually, shut up. Like, I'm trying to talk to Scott. Seriously. Anyway, I'm trying to see where do you think the line is when you help somebody? Because I don't believe it makes you a good person to help somebody. I believe it's like, hey, if somebody helps you out, you got to do that. Whether it's like a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later, that's what I'm doing. How do you feel about that kind of like obligation, that moral kind of?
Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason why I don't like taking help from people is because I don't like owing people, not because of a pride thing, but for the simple fact that I don't want to be like minding my own business, making my way through life, and then somebody who helped me out years ago is like, "Oh, dude, I need help," and now I have to help them, right? Because I will feel that need. I will feel that it's like what I need to do, what I have to do in order
Right.
to like be right, you know? I think that when somebody helps you out, you definitely like 100% um I think you 100% do owe somebody if they help you out, you know? And unfortunately, that's something that a lot of people don't feel. To them, it's just kind of like, oh, thanks. You didn't have to do that though. Like, have you ever had that situation happen where like you do someone a favor, like they're coming to you, they're like desperate, they need like your help, like hardcore.
That's the good shit. I think I might have been misinterpreted. I'm trying to like not say that Rad Dad will ever owe me, like a year or five. Like I'm just saying when somebody else has helped me out, whether I like connect with them or disconnect with them in the future, it's just like it's like a karmatic duty. Because like I've had those people that take advantage of me too, and like that's the worst feeling in the world. I'm sure you've had that, Scott.
Oh yeah, for sure, you know. That's why I'm not really a people person is because like when I was early in my life, I was in those kinds of situations where like, oh hey, I'm thirsty, can I have your extra water? Oh yeah, here you go. And then when
Right.
I need an extra water and when I need a water and they have an extra one, they don't want to give me theirs, you know? Like it was a
Yeah.
very very common core memory for me. So that's why I try to make sure that like I don't owe anybody anything, and then in addition to that, like I'd rather go without something than have to like ask somebody for something, you know. But
Cool.
I do think that like I do feel that desire to help when I owe somebody like that, you know.
I'm sure you do shit behind the scenes that you don't want to like publicize. Like, I'm sure you're a good friend and everything to the people you know. And like, I'm sure if I like knew any of your friends, they'd be like, "Oh no, Scott's a great guy." Because I remember my first. I don't know if you actually know this. Our first interaction was a couple of years ago. We were both on the Brandon Buckingham podcast. Do you remember the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was like October of a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah. And dude, like the way I heard you like be thankful for him and I saw like that he correct me if I'm wrong, like he kind of hooked you up with Sam, right?
Well, actually, Sam hooked me up with Brandon.
Oh shit, shit. I thought it was the other way around because you were both from Baltimore. That's my bad. But I'm blaming my brain injury on that. I'm blaming my brain injury. Like seeing like the kind of person that you like can act like on the show, I'm like, all right, he's got something there. Like, I don't think you're actually, an asshole, even though you play an asshole really well. Like I think you're a guy that he's got some love in the tank, and that's what goes on behind the scenes. Whether it's like with your wife, you have a kid, right?
No, I don't have any kids right now.
Damn. All right. Well, I'm wishing you the best with that. Fuck. But I know you got like love for you talked about your brother. What was he having a heart attack? What was going on?
Oh no, that was my brother-in-law. Yeah, he was having heart issues, and like his heart rate was like increasing to like well over 200 beats per minute. It was like really scary, and we brought him to the hospital a couple of times. The first time they were just like, fucking go find somebody else. They basically told us go find somebody else, as like my cousin, what the fuck cousin? My brother-in-law is like laying in a hospital bed, not sure if he's gonna live through the night, you know. And then we had to bring him somewhere else like a week or two later, because luckily his heart was like it got better enough as to where we were like, okay, I guess we'll just go home then. We can't get help. And then they finally were like, oh, here's the problem. We're gonna fix that.
See, but you were there as much as you could be for the entire process. Am I right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I tried my best to be there.
There's something that when people talk about like what it means to be a real man, like I don't think it's any of the I think being able to hold your own and like a physical capability does mean something, but I think like the meat and potatoes of it is just being able to be there for other people. I think that really makes you a man. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, being there for other people, and being even beyond that, like being able to do the right thing when nobody's watching and when it matters the most,
Right.
And I think that mindset will inform anything other than that, like you mentioned, being able to physically defend yourself, and that's part of being a man. I think that is downstream from what is ultimately more important, which is what you were describing after the fact, which is like being there for other people, being
right
there to do the right thing when it matters, not just when it's easy, but especially when it hurts. Doing the right thing hurts sometimes, man. It sucks, but you got to do it.
A lot of people don't want that pain, and it's like that's the good kind of pain. If it's hurting you to do the right thing and people are judging you for it, like, and you really in your heart of hearts know it's the right thing, like that pain that you feel from other people not believing in you, I really think that should matter to you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But hey, before I start rambling too much, Scott, I just want to give you nothing but props. I think you're doing great. I really want you to come back in, show everybody how to box. Can I ask you one thing about the current season?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know anything about the current season, but if you want to ask and I can answer, then yeah, sure.
Oh, what'd you think about the Luke and Freddy fight?
Oh yeah, that was better than any of the fights from season 3, I have to say. Like Freddy and Luke, they're not the most well trained guys. Freddy's not trained at all, but he was aggressive, and that made it really interesting. I do think he faked the knockout. Some people said he got knocked out. I think he just got knocked down, and he was like, all right, I'm tired. I've hit this guy with everything I got, and he's still coming at me. So I think I'm just going to play. But like, it is what it is. It is what it is.
That's fair. That's fair. Do you agree that like he kind of had Luke in the beginning, but then when Luke got mad, he was done.
Yeah. I think there definitely was a moment where Luke was like, I'm fucking tired of getting hit, and he just started turning up the aggression.
1,000%. But hey, Scott, let me let you go. Let me let you get to the other person. You should talk to L-Man again. We were having a good conversation. He was nice.
Oh yeah, he was a cool dude. Oh, all right. He left. I was gonna say goodbye. I was gonna be like, hey, peace, man. Fucking. Sorry, just looking at some stuff here. Yeah, so I don't have anybody else waiting in the waiting room right now. If anybody, in fact, I'll go ahead. I'll post it now. Bada bing, bada boom. If you would like to call in, feel free to. What you're going to do is you're going to come in, you're going to jump in the waiting room, and you're going to put a 1 in the call order text channel, okay? Excuse me. The reason why you put the 1 in the call order is because that's how I know who to bring in next, okay? So yeah, we'll go ahead, we'll do that shit. Anyway, last night he was being so cringe, I started doubting if he's even autistic. I mean, that's what an autist would do, you know, is be so cringe you're almost like, what the hell is this guy's fucking problem, you know? It's because Luke had a mask on and then he didn't. Yeah. I've wore one of those. I've wore a shark mask before. It makes it harder to see out here. You basically have vision like here, you know, is where your vision is. So it makes sense that he was getting hit the way he was because he had his hands up, but also he probably couldn't see the punches were coming from there. But I also, because I know Luke trains with Sam a little bit. I saw Luke a couple months ago. I met Luke in person a couple months ago, and you know, we chewed the rag a little bit. We shot the shit. And he told me that he trains with Sam. And you know, the thing is, like, it's not like he's like training. It's just like Sam wants to spar. Sam wants to, like, you know, do a little bit of pad work and stuff like that. So he and Luke will train, and him and like Ryan and other people like that. It's not like Luke is like, yeah, let's really get good at boxing. He's like, oh well, I guess we're training. I'll do some training. You know, so I think it was probably a little bit of both, and I think the Sharko vision, it says Graboony attack. The Sharko vision is probably something that was definitely not helping, you know. It was a pleasure talking with you, Scott. Thanks for taking my call. Wish I had more to talk about. Hey, that's fine, Hathlin. That's all good, man. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for popping in, you know. Yeah, as soon as the mask came off, Freddy was cooked. Yeah, that was funny. Is Mayhem Miller going to train Sam? I don't know, man. I was surprised to see them together because I interviewed Jason Miller on this channel about a year ago. It was not a very good interview. I'm not a good interviewer, especially with someone like Jason Miller. It's like, you know, I didn't do great. I did ask a couple of really good questions, but the way that I was asking the questions, it was just not good. But you should check it out anyway. I do like the interview, even if I suck as an interviewer. But I have Jason's phone number. And I asked Sam last summer, hey, do you want Jason Miller for season 3? Because I can get him possibly. I mentioned your name and Fishtank to him, and he wasn't absolutely like, no, that sounds dumb. So I don't know. Maybe you could get him as a freeloader. Hell, maybe we can get him here. He'll be a freeloader. He'll go on your podcast, and then I can have him run a seminar at my gym or something like that. Maybe we could do that. Have more than just one reason to bring him out here. That way it'll sweeten the pot for him and even you and even me a little bit. You know, and it just didn't work out. You know, just didn't work out. Bird confirmed on his stream just now they're going to his house. Breaking news. A fucking Burt tank. Lachlan M says, hey, yo, what happened? Is the tank broken? The tank is broken, but it's being repaired, I guess is what you could say. It's broken, but it's being repaired. Man. Jason Miller is a cool guy, no doubt. Yeah, he's an alright guy, you know, from what I've seen. He has a bit of an attitude to him, but I think that's probably just what happens when you are at the top of the world at one point. Even when you come down from it, you're still going to have a little bit of that ego, because I don't think it's just that he was on top of the world. I think he had that ego in the first place, you know. But when he kind of calmed down, because when I was first talking to him, I'm not going to lie, I didn't exactly like his attitude, you know. I didn't exactly love his attitude. But he kind of loosened up. And when I say talking to him, I don't mean on the interview. I mean like through my messages and stuff like that, through Instagram. Like, I didn't love his attitude when I first started talking to him, but you know, he loosened up. Ego and brain damage. You see, brain damage doesn't work that way. You know, brain damage doesn't work that way. That's one thing. That's where my autism is activated, and I think I think it's a big piece of like when somebody tries to equate brain damage to being a reason why somebody disagrees with somebody else. It's like, all right, this guy's a fucking idiot. You know, not saying you're an idiot. Not saying you're an idiot or anything like that. You know. What was I gonna say? But you get what I'm saying. But yeah, it's definitely ego, you know. And me, like, I have an ego too. Everybody has an ego. You have to have an outsized ego to be a fighter. Me, I'm nice and chill. I keep it chill, but that's because I'm aware of my ego and I make sure to not allow it to boil over when somebody is just talking to me, when I'm just talking to somebody or something like that, But like you'll see real quick how like ignorant I can get. It happened last night, dude. Fucking I'm trying to cross the street, right? It's dark out. I decided I'd go for a walk to a store. I'm trying to cross a street. It's a three-way intersection. And I hit the crosswalk. The button to cross. The crosswalk changes, so all the lights are red. None of the cars are allowed to go. And the crosswalk has now changed to the walk light. So I'm walking, and sure enough, somebody comes up and they try and take a right on red. And they almost hit me in the crosswalk. Now, this is some stupid bitch and her man in the passenger seat. When she starts to turn and she sees me and she stops, I'm kind of like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the, like, that's literally what I did. I'm like, what the fuck? Just like that. And she lowers the window on the passenger side, which is where her man is. And she's like, I seen you. I'm telling you, I seen you. Like, trying to fucking yell at me. So I was like, I immediately got into like fight mode. It was fight mode. The ego came out. I was like, shut the fuck up, bitch. I started like flipping the fuck out. She started driving off, and as she was driving off, I was like, I'll kill your fucking man. Like that's how bad it'll get that quick, And that guy, like, he did the smart thing. He just kept his mouth shut. If anything, he should have been like, hun. Stop it. Knock it off. Stop it. Knock it off. That's what he should have did. But he did the second best thing, which is to just be like, just do that while his bitch starts trying to speak for him. And like if he had spoken up, it would have been a fight right then and there. Like right then and there. It wouldn't have been, get out the car, I'll fuck you up. It would have been, oh, windows down. Because like that's the kind of ego you have to have when you're a fighter. And it's not like you have to have that to walk through the world every day. You have to have that kind of ego to be willing to go into a cage with somebody who you don't know, that is either as well trained as you or maybe even better trained than you, and think, yeah, I'm gonna beat this guy's ass. You have to have that kind of ego. If you don't, then you're in the wrong sport. You're even when there's been one fight where I have gotten my ass beat for the entirety of the fight, right? Every other fight was either like I won, or I was beating his ass and I got hurt, or it was even and then I just got caught, right? The only fight that I've ever, like, from bell to bell gotten the fuck beaten out of me in was my first fight. And that whole time, I never had a point where I was like, I should just quit. This sucks. I'm losing. I'm going to lose. The whole time I was thinking, I'm going to fuck this guy up. I'm getting the shit beat out of me. And the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, he's winning right now, but just wait. Just fucking wait. Just fucking wait. Just fucking wait. I'm going to beat this guy. I'm going to fuck this guy up. Just one punch is all I need. One fucking punch. That's what was going on the entire fight in my head as I'm getting pounded on, You have to have that kind of attitude. And a lot of people don't realize that, and they assume that it's just like tough talk. They assume that it's bad manners. They assume that it's like somebody who doesn't know how to be a champion or a good person or something like that. They assume that that's like, they assume that it's like a situation like that, and it's like, no, it's not, it's what you need, Cheesy Poofs says, yeah, what if the crazy driver had a gun and blasted you? You really want to die to some randoms? What if I had a gun and blasted them? Fucking like I'm not saying that's the wrong attitude to have. That's not a bad attitude to have. That's not a bad thing to think in that situation. But what I'm saying is you are probably more likely to get your ass beat by somebody named Jaquavius than I am. And it's not because I'm Mr. MMA guy. It's because I'm not going to let Jaquavius get close enough to sucker punch me. I'll sucker punch him before Mr. Jaquavius sucker punches me. That's literally like I'll show you guys the fucking tweet. This is part of the reason why I'm talking about this. Because I made a tweet a little bit earlier. I saw something we're gonna go ahead. We're going to take a look at it. Ah, yes. Okay, so we have right here, right? I'll go ahead and I'll show you this. Of course, there's this guy right here who he thinks he's being tough and shit like that. Fucking. Right? So we're gonna. I'll go ahead. I'll do this, right? So we have right here this dude, right? He thinks people are coming over and they're just gonna chat. He lets this dude get close enough to do that, and then he just stands there when that starts happening. Like this is what happens when your first thought every time somebody does something and starts screaming at you in public. That's what happens when your first thought is, no, I shouldn't fight them. I shouldn't say anything. What if they have a gun? What if they have a gun? And what ends up happening is you get situations where this guy simultaneously wants to feel like he's a tough guy, but he also is like, oh, but you don't fight people. You don't fight people. You don't just fight people. Even if you are going to fight somebody, what you have to do is you have to take it outside. You have to take it outside is what you have to do. And then you have to take off your jacket, and then you wait for somebody to say go, and you put up your dukes, and you like that's what happens with a lot of people, especially people of this type, if you know what I mean. And because of that, people who are like these guys over here, they get away with this kind of thing all the time. Fucking just fucking look at this shit. Look at this shit, you know? And I'll go ahead and I'll read through this because it's probably better for me to just read through this than it is to try and explain myself. But like, a truth you need to get right now, victims, not fights, applies to America too, because that's what these people did. They found a victim. This guy is a victim. He has a victim mentality. Someone wants to walk by, someone wants to talk, they can talk from 5 feet away. Any closer, you swing like a married couple in the 70s. This criminality relies on subverting the talk, agree to fight, fight when already ideal. The truth about thugs is that they aren't special. They just rely on the willingness to resort to violence earlier than what society considers acceptable. You don't need to be born different or have a mystical understanding of anything. You just need to go earlier. Always obey the law and everything. I'm not saying, I'm just saying I'd rather not give a criminal the jump on me if I don't have to. Excuse me. Anyway, that's a big issue with the way that we're raised today, is like, even if something is a good idea in theory, like the idea of avoiding fights, you should always avoid fights. I always try my best to avoid fights too. But there's a line where it's like, you're not avoiding fights anymore. You're just allowing the world to step on you and use you as a doormat, you know? And I'm not going to allow some fucking Sharkeisha bitch to almost hit me with her car and then yell at me like it's my fault, like it's my problem, when she ran the red light and I had the crosswalk telling me I could go, you know? Fucking, like, shootings are not as common as you would think either. You know, that's just not the way it works. And like, an issue that I had for a long time, and the issue that a lot of people have, and I still have people trying to force this mindset, this idea onto me, is that you're supposed to make yourself smaller to try and put some space between you and somebody else, you know? But really what happens is, I wish I had like a pen and paper or something like that. I could fucking show you. But like, you're sitting here, you're this big, somebody else comes over, they expand, they bump into you. So now you have to shrink your bubble. Now there's space between you and the bubble that just bumped into you. Well, as soon as that bubble notices there's space between you and him, he's going to expand more and bump into you. So you just keep on getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's what we're taught to do today. And I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm not going to start problems. I'm not going to look for problems. I'm not going to keep problems going if I see a solution out of them. And I didn't keep the problem going either. They drove away and I kept walking away. And that was that. That's it. It's not like I followed them or anything like that. But I'm not going to continuously make myself smaller so that some fucking asshole who doesn't deserve it, who honestly the world would be better off if they were not around, can make themselves bigger and keep bumping into me so that I have to keep getting smaller. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna allow my life to be that, because I allowed my life to be that for a long time, and it put me in situations that even to this day, whether I'm still partially in that situation or if I'm completely out of those situations, they are still having an effect on my life that is negative, you know. It even like this one of the people who does this with me is my coach, and he doesn't realize that he's doing it a lot of the time, but like someone new will come into my jujitsu class, and they'll be trying to heme me, and they'll be doing things that are like disrespectful and harmful and things like that. And whether I explain it to them or not, I'm not just going to let them try and heme me. So I end up doing a move, and my coach will see that, and he'll be like, whoa, Scott, calm down, cool it. And it's like, dude, this guy is practically punching me in the head. I'm going to hit that suicide throw if I want to hit it. I don't care. I know how to do it safely in a way that it's not going to hurt him. I'm going to do it if I feel like it. Because I'm not going to let this guy, like, try and kill me, and I just have to, let him try and kill me? I get to go home with bruises and cuts and shit like that? You know, like, no. And what, you're not going to tell him to calm down? Like, no, that's, fuck that, you know? If I want to murk this guy, I'm going to murk him. That's just the way I'm going to do it, you know? Or like another scenario, we have parents who want to be baseball dads, and they want to like scream at their kid from the sidelines. And I made a comment the other day. I was like, hey, parents, how many of us do jujitsu? Raise my hand. None of them raised their hand because none of them have ever done jujitsu. They just have their kids in the jujitsu class. That's it. You know, they're too pussy to do it themselves, but they'll yell from the sidelines. They'll yell at their kid from the sidelines, do the move, put your leg over, blah, 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 blah. I suck dick. Like, they'll fucking do that from the sidelines. So when none of them raised their hand, I said, hey, the first class is free, and we would love to have some of you out here on these mats. And if you want to coach your kid, that's totally fine. But, I mean, hey, I look forward to being able to coach my kids someday when I have some. I don't have any right now. But the only reason I'm going to be able to coach my kids is because I do jujitsu. I have a belt in jujitsu that's not just a white belt. If you want to be able to coach your kids someday at a tournament, that's something we can talk about, and we would love to have that. But you got to take that first step and get on here and get a little bit of training in. That way we can put you in the coach's seat so that you can be the one telling your kid what to do, when, and how, you know? And like when I told my coach, who was present, why I did that, he was like, just don't let it get under your skin. Don't let what they're doing get under your skin. And it's like, I'm not letting it get under my skin. I just mentioned that if you want to be a coach, you can be a coach. You just got to do the right thing to become a coach. That's it. I'm not going to continue to be silent so that some fucking idiot who's never done jujitsu, or worse, somebody who did jujitsu for a month and now they don't, and now they have their kid in jujitsu while they don't even bother with it. You know? I'm not going to allow people to disrespect me and the class like that. I'm going to say something, even if I can't be like, hey, dude, shut up. I'm going to at least drop a hint, you know? There's a lot of fucking people out there who are just stupid, and if you allow those people to walk all over you, that's just what's going to happen, you know? And like, I'm not going to be walked over. I'm not going to allow people to have their way with me like that, you know? There's times where you got to be like, okay, whatever, this is meaningless, this is pointless, you know? But then there's times where it's like, no, like you got to be ready. You got to be fucking ready to go, you know? Just imagine this guy walking up and down the audience waiting for a parent to cheer their elementary kids on, ready to fight them. That's exactly what it is, Mike. That's exactly what I do. That's me. That's me. They call me Scott the Parent Punisher Sullivan is what they do. Who's Hagley supposed to be, says Rainek. What's it called? Sorry, I'm trying to read something. Just a father literally yelling, I suck dick, and nothing else. Dude, they might as well be, dude. They might as fucking well be. Because there's something so stupid and, like, annoying when you are sitting there and you say, okay, kids, here's how you do the move. You have to grab here and then pull that way and then push them here. And then, like, 5 minutes later, they're doing the move to each other. They're just drilling it. And you hear some guy on the sidelines like, okay, good, now you push them, now you pull them, now you do this, now you do that. It's like, dude, don't act like you didn't just hear me say that 2 seconds ago. I don't care that you have a better ability to pay attention and regurgitate information than a 7-year-old child does. They know this better than you know this, for the simple fact that they're doing it. You're just sitting here watching me, and now you're trying to tell your kid to do it. And what really pushed me over the edge was the way we do it in the kids class is we'll show a move, and then what happens is we have the kids break up into groups of 2. There's one child who, for say 5 minutes, is the one performing the move on another child, right? Let's say it's a double leg takedown. So for 5 minutes, child 1 is doing a double leg takedown on child 2. Then after that 5 minutes, we switch, and child 2 starts doing that same double leg takedown on child 1. I'm literally in the middle of the class, and one of the fucking dads is sitting here. It's not his son's turn. He is, for all intents and purposes, child 2, and child 1 is doing it right now. He starts telling his kid, all right, now you do the move. Now you do the move. You do the move now. And it's like, dude, you are straight up undermining me in the middle of this fucking class. Like I couldn't kill you with my bare hands in front of your children. What has gotten into you? Don't come in here if you're gonna be like that. Don't do that, you know. But unfortunately, I can't get any backup from I can't get any backup from the guy who owns my gym. You know, that's been like that for a long time. So I just kind of have to ignore it for fear that if I say anything too direct or anything like that, regardless of how I say it, it's gonna end up being a situation where like I'm having like an argument with the owner of my gym, and then there's like some stupid shit that occurs. You know, it's just like, man. You know, it's just dumb as fuck. Excuse me. Oh, wait a second. Bert's doing Wakanda karate chops. That's pretty crazy. Fucking. So many wives are cheating on their husbands with the jiu-jitsu instructor. Yeah, none of the wives in my class. None of the wives in my class. I wouldn't dare do that. You know. But yeah, there's something else about that last bit that pisses me off too, because like I'm thinking about it in terms of I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. For those of you that don't know, I literally got my black belt this month, June 1st. Like this is the certificate, you know. I left the belt in the car, or else I'd show you guys. I always leave it in my car because it's not like I do gi jiu-jitsu at home. My wife won't let me choke her out, but like there's an added piece of it where it's like, let's say I have kids and I want them to do jiu-jitsu, but for some reason I just can't teach them. There's like some issue that arises where I have to bring them to be taught by somebody else. Okay, fine, that's fine. And yes, I'm going to want to sit there and watch them and see how they're doing and make sure that they're making the most of the class and seeing what they're learning, so that who knows, maybe I can help them in my spare time. I have expertise that the average parent is not going to have. I would never dream of trying to coach my child through a jiu-jitsu class from the sideline, because I'm going to be sitting here, my child, who is probably going to be pretty good at jiu-jitsu just due to proximity, is going to fucking sit there and I'm going to tell him how to beat this kid who doesn't have that same resource. That's kind of fucked up. You know, if I didn't know jiu-jitsu and some black belt came in and was like, all right, hit the move I showed you at home. All right, okay, put your elbow here and then squeeze and then do this and that and then roll and blah blah blah. I'd be like, yo, dude, could you chill, please? Like, I get it. You know jiu-jitsu, your kid's really good at jiu-jitsu. That's fantastic, but I don't want your kid using my kid as a rag doll. That's not a good thing for my kid to be doing. And I don't want to pull my kid out or tell him not to go with your kid anymore. Like, if your kid comes in and with no outside help, he's able to rag doll my kid, fine, whatever. That's because that kid is good at jiu-jitsu. I don't want to hear a full-grown adult who knows what a bow and arrow choke is trying to tell his son to do that to my son as I'm sitting right there. That's not cool. I don't like that, you know? Like that would be my attitude, and I'd fucking say something to the guy, you know? So I'm not going to be that guy. Even with my black belt, I'm not going to walk in and be like, all right, Junior, have a good day of class today. Hit the fucking Ezekiel. Like, that's so stupid, you know? Excuse me. Wrestling men on the ground is gay. Get into boxing, moron. I've boxed for longer than I've grappled. And that's exactly what boxers say when they're confronted with the fact that they don't actually know how to fight for real. Fuck him. You kind of look and sound like Taylor from PKA. That's a compliment. Aha. Taylor's my boy, Danny DePresso. I don't know if you were aware of that, but you know, me and Taylor, we play AOE all the time. I've been on AOE. What the fuck? I've been on PKA like 2 or 3 times now. He's a really cool guy. He's a really cool guy. Like, we're not just friends at this point. He's an alright guy. Yeah, he's an alright guy. You know, known him for the better part of a year. Been playing AOE pretty much every night. You know, been talking about a bunch of different shit. He introduces me to his friends. He's a cool guy though. He's a cool guy. You know. Man. All 3 houses are built inside of an elaborate movie set. None of the drama is real. It's a gaslight. Damn it. Shockspire got us. He fucking got us, boys. Damn it. He got us. He got us good. Scott lures the females in his classes into cheating, then gets his wife to beat them up as a lesson. Oh boy. That's exactly what it is. I'm doing it as a way to I'm doing it as a way to actually enforce monogamy. It's meant to be a punishment is what it is. It's meant to be a punishment. Fucking. Peace out, Neon. I don't know if you're still here, but you know, you said you got to take off. Peace out, man. That's awesome. Y'all were meant to be bros. Yeah, he's a really cool dude. I'm glad he and I became acquainted, you know. Do you like the dark-skinned folk? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't hate anybody, you know. I don't hate anybody. You know, I don't think anybody's worth hating, especially not my wife. I'd say I don't hate my wife, you know. I'd say I don't despise her. Some days. Man. If I got a kink to get kicked in the head, can I get half off a membership and intern as a dummy? I don't know. That might work. That might work. I'm looking around. I'm probably gonna get out of here soon. You know, this was a good stream though. I'm not under the illusion. I'm not under the delusion that every one of these people, every one of you is going to be here next time. But I do stream on Sundays. It's usually Oblivion Sunday. We'll probably play some Oblivion on Sunday. But if Fishtank is back up by then, we will go ahead and we'll watch some Fishtank too. When it comes to Fishtank, it's hard for me to do anything that's not Fishtank related. Just for the simple fact that it's like, well, it's kind of all encompassing, you know. Everybody here pretty much knows me from Fishtank for the most part, you know. But yeah, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Your wife is dark. My wife's Brazilian. Do you think Rhodesia should make a comeback? It never should have went anywhere in the first place, you know. It's just a great example. It's the perfect example of why you should never capitulate. And that everything is made up all the time. Like, all this shit is just made up, you know? Because, like, what would anybody have done if Rhodesia stuck around? Like, what would have happened if Rhodesia stuck around? Now, like I'm not an expert on the subject or anything like that, but to me it seemed like it was just, like, as if Rhodesia buckled to mean words, almost. It almost felt like Rhodesia buckled to mean words, to people, to people's negative judgments. And when I say people's, I mean like England's negative judgments. It's not, and again, I could be very wrong about this. I am not an expert in any way, shape, or form, but it seemed like England was just like, no, we do not recognize your independence. We don't think you're actually a country. And then they just kind of fucked off to do whatever, you know. Like, I don't recall England lifting a finger to like harm them in any real way, although I'm sure there was some kind of trade war shit going on. But it's like, I feel like they probably could have figured that out at some point, you know. Like if Rhodesia was able to offer some kind of support for like Vietnam or something like that, I bet America would have like stepped in, because that's what was going on at the time. Was Vietnam was going on at the time? I don't know. Maybe, like, again, I'm not an expert, and there's a reason why I'm not running a country right now. I'm just saying, like, to me, when I do learn about Rhodesia, it seems like it's a situation where they were pressured based off of just like mean words, and it's like it just shows you how if you ignore everything, if you ignore what people are saying, as long as there isn't literally a gun to your head, you're pretty much fine. You're pretty much all good, you know. But hey, I don't know, you know. Oh, it beats me, you know. Danny Depresso says you did great on season 2 and Blood Games. You're gonna be back for Blood Games too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I actually, this is this right here is that was what's it called? It's all fucked up and shit like that. But that was this right here is a lighter that I'm gonna carry for Cage, and then this is gonna be the sword that Cage fights with. Again, it was supposed to be a short sword. I'm kind of mad about that, but whatever. It's going to be the sword Cage fights with. This is a Celtic sword. It was I believe they call this type like a Ewart Park sword or something like that. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I guess there was a place in England called Ewart Park that was like tons of this kind of sword was found. It's got a leaf-shaped blade, kind of tapers off in the middle, you know. But yeah, I like it. It's going to be fun to use. It's going to be unique compared to the other swords that we have. You know, we have some really cool looking fucking LARP swords and shit like that this time around. I will say that much. But yeah, you know, nice sword that's good for slashing. Yes indeed. The fucking the tip is better now. The tip is not all fucked up, but it's like, you know, it was bent like a motherfucker when I first got it. Dumbass UPS. Celtic sex toy, says hi Ecuador. That's exactly what it is. Glad to catch a live stream. Wanted to call in, but I'll save that for a night when I'm less tipsy. Thanks for providing some entertainment while the tank is broken, says Dick. Hey, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for being here. Absolute wonderful take. Definitely got to subscribe from me. Thank you very much, Ice Cold Frosty. I appreciate that. Rhodesia was fucked over by the whole Western world, and fighting against commie-funded countries wasn't just mean words. Yeah, that does make sense, you know, because it does make sense because they didn't have any funding from the West, but the commies were funded by the Soviets, and I would assume the Chinese as well. Excuse me. So yeah, it makes sense that you know, they would have had some issues at some point, you know, but yeah. It's like I said, I'm definitely not an expert on that in any way, shape, or form, you know. But anyway, wait, you didn't buy a real sword? How are you gonna get revenge on Letty? Oh, don't you worry, I have plans. I have plans for that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get out of here. It's about that time I make my escape. Thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate it. I'm sure the tank will be on by then, but if it's not, or if it's on and you want to, you know, if you want to watch it with me, I'm going to be streaming on Sunday around 5 or 6 p.m. EST. It's been a little bit flexible lately because of a couple of things that are going on the weekends. But yeah, definitely tune in for that. We'll also be playing a little bit of the Oblivion remaster. I've been having a good time with that. I hope you guys have been having a good time with it too. And yeah, I am going to head out. I think that's all for announcements. I haven't been doing too much with my channel. I've just been streaming, so I don't have any announcements based on like videos or anything like that are going to be coming up. It just is what it is. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.